Okay, everyone. So of course, welcome to another awesome training class presented and sponsored by Malls. This is your Malls class and it's part of your vetting program. So to be clear, again, reiterating that the vetting program consists of 4 to 5, 4 to 5 programs. If you are a startup, and that means you're in business less than a year, we are vetting you on 4. And that will be assessment of where you are. The second would be on basically after assessment, we go into the first class, which is your foundational class. And that foundation is critical, right? That's your why, consists of your why, your values, and your vision. Without those, you're not going to go very high. It's like a chicken trying to become an eagle. You know, a chicken can only go from the ground to a little hop, to a little bar, but an eagle can go to 10,000 feet above sea level. So without that foundation, you will not understand why you're not able to scale your business. You're holding yourself as a prisoner in your own business. So that first foundation statement we work on, and foundations take a while, just like if you try to rebuild the World Trade Center, it took some time before that foundation was solidly put in before the walls kept going up, right? Then the next will be your business plan. That would be your life plan, because with the life plan, it will include all of what you are, not your business, of course, because you did your foundational statement. It was going to help you tremendously in building out the narrative of your business. Then you got to get into the financial numbers, your marketing, and who you're collaborating with, who your team will be. That's on the pitch. So after you've done that now, and you know what you want to do between now and the next 3 years, and your business plan gives you all of that, which is starting with your pitch, right? So even before you do your business plan, it's the pitch. And then from that pitch, you will then be able to come to this point, which is called objective goals, strategies, and measures. So some of you have already started your business plan. Some of you may not have started your business plan pitch, that means, right? Which is the life plan, but I'm hoping pretty much, let me see. I know Ratasha, did you work on your life plan as yet?
It's not completed.
Not completed. Okay, at least you started. Pat, life plan. You're muted, sweetheart.
Sorry, I've completed mine.
Very good. Elaine, life plan. Yes, I remembered her completing her life plan. Yes. Okay. Gracia, started.
Not completed.
Not completed. Yes. All righty. And The Simpsons, we showed you that they're brand new spanking babies. Not
actually the Emelis.
Emily, that's right. Where did I get Simpsons from?
Mary's her maiden name.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so now we're just going to say Emily. Okay, so this one comes both of you.
Yeah.
Righty. So you just learned of it last year. Newest babies on the block. You're not new in business, but new to Malls.
Yeah.
At least you are aware of what you're doing in that plan, right? Very good. So we are all familiar. Now we move on to objective goals, strategies, and measures. And the reasons why we are even usurping some of what, even if you have not finished your plan or have gotten to your marketing and your financial numbers, which really you need to work on, because this fourth quarter is the money-making season for all business, no matter what it is. No matter what it is. Corporations, as of September, have made their plans of what they're going to do from 2022. So if you wanted contracts with companies, September was your deadline to have smooshed and whatever you need to do. If you're working with contracts, September was it. Okay, you might get away with some November if it's a small company, and the smaller the company, maybe by December. But large corporations, they have to close their doors into contracts by September for them to know what they're doing for the following year. Now, when it comes to retailing, meaning giving out gift certificates for people to do business with you next year. That means the campaign is on right now to sell services by gift certificates, planning sessions where people get to know about you with free webinars or free programs just to get your name out there. You're ferociously getting interviewed. You're doing everything so that your name become very familiar to the marketplace, right? You want to do whatever it is, even if it's not about making money, it's just that you want to be out there. Have I seen this name before? I've seen Bevis Kitchen. How many times have I seen Emily business? How often have I seen Sovereign Staffing Solution? How often have I seen Fire Coaching, right? How often am I seeing this? We have also the little daycare. How often is it showing up across the, Facebook, Instagram? How often? Maybe it's just a post, but all of those are actual strategies that you are going to make for this last quarter. Why? Because everyone is going to be on the internet this last quarter. Everyone, they're looking for gift certificates. Everyone is focusing on New Year's resolution. Can you be part of their New Year's resolution? Can you be? And that's really what you want to think about. So your objective, goals, strategies, and measures are designed. It's a tool that's designed to help you. All right. So let us see how we can get this moving. One of the things that with PowerPoint, if you let it sit too long, it gets arthritis. It doesn't move. Okay. So the introduction to this is that, as you could read it, the objective, goals, strategies, and measures we call OGSM is a crucial compass tool every business owner needs in their business toolbox. In this session, participants will learn the purpose of the OGSM, how to use it to set clear objectives, how to set SMART goals to accomplish the objectives, how to create strategies to achieve the SMART goals, what to measure so that you remain focused and on track to achieve your goals. I give you permission to do screenshots if you want to, but each of you will get a copy of this PowerPoint this evening, so you can have that, all right? So it's up to you. Now, the purpose of the objective, in order for us to really understand OGSM, objectives, goals, strategies, and measures, it's important that you know the purpose. Always start with why. What is the purpose of it? What is the purpose of each of them? Now we understand the purpose of the whole tool at the end, we will, but you have to break them down by each. What is the purpose of an objective? What is it? Well, we would say objectives provide structure and clarity of expectation. That's the main purpose of planting an objective in context of business. It provides structure and clarity of what you are expecting. So imagine now, let's go back to your life plan and you have done your business plan or just the pitch of it. There is some form of expectation you want from that plan. You want it to perform. Maybe you want it, maybe from there, you're going after marketing, or you might be going after money. So if you're using it as marketing, the plan is the overall picture of marketing, but now you need to narrow it down to an action step to make that business plan functional, right? So anything that you have on that business plan needs to be functional. So there are three areas of it. One, marketing. Two, definitely knowing your numbers, which means you have to do your performer, your 3-year performer, your projections. If you have been in business before, you're going back to know your numbers and then add your projection for 3 years, right? So that's one objective. If you're going to focus on, well, I'm going to just focus on my numbers, or I'm going to focus on just getting clients, that's marketing. You might even decide to focus on recruiting talent to help you to scale. It depends on where you are in your business. Those are just some ideas of what your expectation is, and you're going to be breaking it down. The objective refers to a specific, quantifiable, and detailed goal. So when you're writing the objective, it has to have a number in there, and it has to be very specific. All right, so later on, we'll break that down so you get some idea of what we mean by being specific and quantifiable. So if you tell me, if I'm reading your objective at the top and I don't see a number and I can't quantify it, it's going nowhere, right? It has to be very detailed. The objective is not the same as mission nor vision. We have individuals who say, well, the mission isn't the mission and objective of what we are doing. The mission could seem like that, but mission is broad. The objective is like a needle eye. It is just that narrow. You can have several objectives on a mission. So you have a mission statement, but you could have several objectives because you're taking it line by line. This is the objective. The next line, this is the objective. Just imagine having a mission statement. And in all of the words you have in your mission statement of what you're doing, each of them require an objective, an OGSM. So that's the difference. So the vision is the final project. The mission would be the way, the methodology in how you're going to arrive at the vision, which is broad. It's just a whole lot of things you're saying. We do this by counseling, coaching, selling. You see how broad that is? But the objective is taking, if you say counseling, well, guess what? OGSM just on counseling. If you say seminars, OGSM on seminars. If you say training, whatever, all those bells and whistles within the mission, each of them must have an OGSM. Okay, so that's how that one works. What's the purpose of the SMART goals? Because after objectives come the goals, and the goals also must be SMART. And SMART means it's the acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely or time-bound. If the goal you set is not measurable, it doesn't have a number there. If it's not achievable, you know, when I say everything is achievable, but as it pertains to your narrow corridor, right where you are, how many of you would say, you're ready to get on to the tarmac over there by NASA and you're just going to go on and you're ready to be on the moon? How many of you? Okay. Is that achievable? You know, yes, right. Not today. That's why I usually like to use the word attainable. Is it attainable? There's a difference between achievable and attainable, right? And I'm going to tell them they need to change that. Because can you achieve it? Yes. Can you attain it today? No. No. Right? So specific as it pertains, like I said, to this narrow thing, you see that when the objective has its date on it and it's quantifiable, that's what controls the goal. You see, so if you're saying we're going on the moon by 2022, 2021 December, and you haven't even trained to be a person getting in that suit or any of that, it ain't happening, right? Because the constraints was set already by the objective. So the goal has to be achievable or / attainable based on the objective time frame that was set. So now the goal has to come under that. All right. Now, let me explain. Some people get confused and might say, well, shouldn't the goal come first and the objective is a method? Because you might read about that they would tell you the goal is first and the objective comes second. It's not wrong, only because the objective is a narrow portion of a bigger goal, which is the mission, right? The mission is a goal. So the objective is a subset of the bigger goal. But then the objective itself needs to have its own subset of goals coming down under it. So that's why I want to clear that up, because some people get it confused that here is the goal and here's my objective. The bigger picture might be the goal, but then each department must have its own objective and then the goal to meet that specific objective. It cannot pass this objective to the bigger one. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So then it provides guidance and direction towards achieving this specific objective. It facilitates planning, it motivates and inspires employees. You see, when you have it up somewhere, whether it's in your house, because you can have OGSM on your household and the people in your home, and what goals are we setting as a family? That could be. But if it's in a workplace and it's on the wall, even if you are the only one in the workplace at your home and your office, it should be right in front of you. Because when you pick up that phone and 10 people say no, you want to curl up under the covers and say, forget it. But when you look at it and what the reason why you're doing it, it then should motivate you. It should inspire you, right? It facilitates your planning. And what's going to help it more is the strategy that comes after that. It helps organizations evaluate and control performance. That is the goal. It's going to help you to evaluate and control performance. Later on, when we come to measures, you will understand that what gets measured gets managed. What is not measured is not managed, right? So when we get to measurement, you will understand why it is connected to the goal, because the goal is the one that the manager who is doing the measurement will know what he or she is shooting towards, right? In the way they evaluate and how they are going to control expenses or resources, all of that gets wrapped up based on the goal. Okay, so what's the purpose of strategy? We're looking at strategies now because it's objectives, goals, strategies in business, because let me tell you, there are strategies in different areas. You could have strategy for doing business. You can have strategy for doing operations. You can have strategy for transformation, and that is one of the toughest areas in businesses. It's strictly from an HR perspective, but it is radical. And I might as well mention it to you since you are doing this and I want you to be highly enlightened, right? So for example, the strategies for what's the next one I said after business? For operations. So you will be covering things like capabilities, the need to be created and enhanced, the capabilities, let's say it's in operations. So let's say all of you were working in my team and I'm your manager. So I might set the strategy based on saying, you know what, I need to optimize this team. The capabilities can be increased and I think they can do more. So let me create a strategy program in how I'm going to enhance the capabilities of the team. That's one. It could mean that what technology do we need at this point in operations, because operations is dealing with finance, technology, talent development, all of that falls under operations, right? Which processes do we need to improve? Maybe we're not efficient, and that's when we measured, right? All the measurement report came back and we realized we're gonna have to deal with operations. Okay, you might say, do we have the people we need? Do we have enough people to really launch this project? So that's a strategy designed for, so that's an operational strategy. What I have in front of you is what you will be doing as a business strategy, which is pretty much what's part of the basis, the basic requirement of your vetting program is your business strategy. So what's a transformational strategy? You may not be at that level right now, and it's the toughest one for corporations to get involved with. And during COVID, it's when most of them were hit in doing transformational strategy, because that will include a radical, highly disruptive changes in people, processes, and technology, just rapid, radical. And sometimes you just can't help. COVID forced you in that direction, right? So it's been tough. Some people said, I'm not going down that road. They ruled them shutters and went out of business. Oh, heck no. This, we can't deal with this. You know, it's been trauma last year, up to the earlier part of this year, but it's getting better, right? It might be, you know, yeah, that's pretty much the core that is really basic on transformation. And I mean, because your brand, when I say new, I don't think any of, with exception of Elaine, 12 years in business and she has a physical location, but she had to deal with some degree of shifting in her operations, and I'm not seeing her. I don't know what's happened here. Elaine, are you still there? We're not seeing you. Are you there? We're not seeing your face, but are you hearing us? Elaine? I'm not hearing her.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay.
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Okay. All right, because I'm not seeing you being focused. So I didn't know if you were multitasking.
No, I just
Okay. All righty. Yes. So in business, but for this strategy, we're talking about in business, it's primarily its primary concern is with how a company will approach the marketplace. Because you just did your life plan. And your life plan is dealing with the marketing. So now you have to create a strategy. How will your company approach the marketplace? How will it position itself against competitors? What capabilities will it employ to differentiate itself from the competition? I see we have some misspelling going on up in here, so we have to go edit that. And what unique approaches will it apply to create a new market? These are questions, these are the primary questions that every business owner must have. Okay, what capabilities will it employ to differentiate itself from the competition, and what unique approaches will it apply to create new markets? So this is pretty much the business strategy that is required in your OGSM for vetting. Because at the end of the day, this is how you're going to build your business and make money. Purpose of the measure or metrics, we're at M. So you might hear measures or metrics, it's the same. The project management metrics allows companies to determine the success of a project. It helps project managers evaluate a project's status. It foresees risks and assess team productivity and quality of work. And what is measured isn't managed. So the project manager will be now you. You are the owner of this. So you are the project manager. When you have a lot of money, you hire who? Tell me, when you have a lot of money, who will you hire?
A team.
A team, okay, but you hire the
Project manager.
project manager. That's exactly right. So until you can hire the project manager, guess who will be the project manager? And that's you. And
Right.
project manager manages the OGSM. And so that's why you're learning how to create it until when you can afford to hire a project manager who will have it done for you and present it to you with white gloves on a golden platter. All righty. So that's it as it pertains to objective goal. We have more slides, but I want to stop here for questions, comments, as we move on to the next slide. Any comments on the objective, the goal, the strategy, the measure that I've just mentioned in the way you understand it and the purpose? That's really what we're looking for. Do you understand the purpose of each of them now? Yes?
I understand it, Winnie, but it sounds like a whole lot.
It is. Well, that's why we sit with you, so we take it one at a time, right? Because that's business. Business whole lot.
Yeah.
There's no simple way for business being done. You're doing it one step at a time, and it becomes easy when you go through each of the categories of the vetting process. Some could speed through it and some require a little more time. Doesn't matter. We're all going to get there together, right? I think, Stephen, you just wanted to say something. I'm not sure if, was it you who said something?
Oh, yeah, I was just actually agreeing with you. I was just talking to my wife. We were talking about that last night. We were walking about how business is not easy, especially if you're starting.
Yes,
It's a lot of work,
it's a lot of
but
work.
it's worth it.
It's worth it. There you go. Exactly. I hear Gracia smiling because Gracia, you're what, 2 years in of the lot of work? This.
No, well, I'm smiling because yesterday I had a big event where I hooked up with Pat. I saw Pat yesterday.
Oh,
And when I came home, I was so exhausted. So as he said that, I'm like, yep, it is worth it because I mean, I'm a people's person. I just love being there with the people and interacting with them. But the work that you have to put into it, if it is not something that you love, you won't be able to last.
yes, you will not
Yeah.
last. You have now, Gracia, you now understand what you just said is how I'm able to help people understand their foundation statement. Now you understand why we start with a foundation with why? Because if that foundation is not set and you bypass it and try to do everything else, you will crash, you will burn, you will throw your dream under the bed and just leave it as a dream. But
Yep.
why has to be fully understood, because every day you feel like throwing the towel in, your why will revive you. Your why reminds you why you're going to keep going. Your why will let you know why you need to learn what you need to learn and do not give up. Your why. And your values form the behavior. Of course, this is not the foundational class where we go through that, but your values are your behaviors. They form your behavior. How should I behave as a business owner before my clients and my employees that's going to come on board? You give up your rights.
That's right.
Whatever you want to do, your rights to show up late, your rights to leave early, unless, of course, it's already documented that you're going to be here from 7 to 3 or 9 to 5. So they know that, and they don't see that you have all these erratic hours, because you have to be that until you get a manager to replace you. And then the manager then maintains that full schedule while you as the owner could just come and go. You see, but you have to do what that manager does in the beginning, because the goal is to replace yourselves, right? So that's why all of this is so important. All right. So here going to be the exercise, and you all are going to build it with me based on what you have just learned. And then after this, you're going to be working on your own. Okay. I'm going to be watching you. I put a little nice music on, and you're going to stay right where you are, and you're going, because I emailed the worksheet to all of you, right?
Oh, I
Yes.
didn't get it. I didn't
Yes,
see
my
it.
dear. Yes. Okay, it's right there. So look at your attachments.
You have
All
to
right.
scroll all the way down to get it.
Oh,
So yeah,
okay.
depending on what
If you use for your email, like
yeah, depending on the
Gmail.
kind of email. Gmail has it at the bottom, and
Yeah,
I think the others have it at the top. So it depends, right? So you print it out, or you could type it in on the screen. I made sure it's in the Word format. But right now we're going to do this together so you have an understanding of how it's done, and then you're going to do yours. So based on the description of the objective, it should have what? Who remembers? It should be what? It should have what in there? I already cheated by filling in the objective.
The business name.
Okay, it could have a business name that goes in there. Yes, basically you could put it in there, or the business name could be at the top. But based on what I shared in the beginning of what the objective should contain is what?
A number,
It should have a
Quantifiable.
number. It should have what?
should be quantifiable.
Quantifiable. So looking at what I wrote here for the objective, is it quantifiable?
Yeah, you said 30%.
I said
By December
30%.
22nd.
And what else?
The
By
date.
December 2022.
Yeah, that exactly.
Date.
Yes, it has by when, right? So that's the cap. So everything that's going to function, so the goal has to come behind it and start working on things before that date. So all the activity of the goals may need to be hit, right? So that that date and that amount becomes a reality. So if the goal is to scale a business, now, do you know what it means to scale a business? Who can tell me what it means to scale a business?
You're making projections.
Okay, projections, yes, but what else would you say scale is?
By your products that or services that you're rendering, whichever one it is.
Okay, to scale, right? When in the terminology in business, what is the definition of scaling in business? I'll allow you to cheat if you wanted to look on the internet. When it says scale of business, you know, it's okay.
It's like making a financial projection of amount of money that you see sales increase by.
Okay, and that, you're not wrong, but that's a subset of the bigger picture of scaling the business.
Isn't that to grow the business?
What is that?
To grow the business, you scale it, you expand it.
You're expanding, you are growing it. Exactly, right? You're expanding and you're growing it. What Ratasha said, it was actually the money, right? You're getting products, so you're bringing in more products. But if you have more products, but there's no capacity, you haven't grown, you may run into a financial problem with all these products sitting here and you don't have the expansion in place, the amount of salespeople in place, the amount of customers in place, the amount of whatever to deal with the product. So you have to grow the company first and then you increase the products, right? Not the other way around. So you got to grow the company. That's scaling. And to grow the company, you need to have what in place to grow the company? What helps the company to grow? What helps the company to grow?
Exposure, money.
Okay.
Marketing,
Marketing, advertising. What helps in development? You ever heard of development? A person that name?
Business development,
Yes, and who does that?
either the CEO or a business development person, employees.
More like,
Employees. You cannot scale without employees.
Multiple.
Okay. Huh? What is that,
I
Stephen?
said multiple.
Multiple. The more employees, the bigger your company. But not just throw them on and they don't know what they're doing. That comes on the strategy. Okay, that's talent strategy. So when you talk about strategy and it's going to be focusing on talent, you just don't hire any and anybody. You have to have a game plan, the goal, and the objective will determine who you're now going to hire. All righty. So the objective is your mandate. The manager got this, the project manager got this order, is to scale this business, whatever the name of your business, you know, by 30%, scale this business 30% by December 2022. So if you got that, what is the first goal you want to shoot for? I'm going to, oh, I can't write it in, right? Oh dear. So you have, I thought I could write it in. I think what I have to do is end this first so I can write it in with you. Oh boy, it's doing some wonderful things. Okay, now I could write it in. So tell me what's the first goal? You're the project manager and you now had a mandate that you have to scale your business 30% by December 2022. And the little discussion that we have, the objective is to scale. So the goal needs to be very clear and focused, specific. What is the specific goal that we can have? You could have more than one goal, no more than 3, that you're going to use to scale the business. And remember, the goal has to be what? SMART. It has to be specific,
measurable,
attainable.
attainable,
Yes, what else?
Realistic.
Realistic, yes.
In time managing or like
Time
Time bound, right. So I must see a date in here. All right, I must see a number in here or a date. What number of what? Or a date, and or a date. It doesn't have to be a date, but it could be, it should, because it's time bound, but we also need a number. So what would be the goal? Let me see. What would be the goal if your mission is to grow your company? When I use the word scale, to grow your company, what would you need?
Well, you could say you're going to increase the workforce by 15%.
Okay, increase workforce by 50%. Now, that's the goal, increase workforce by 50%. All right.
You know, you want to do it probably by
Now, always question yourself, is it specific? Is it
No.
measurable? Is it attainable? Is it realistic?
well, I said 15%. You said you put 50.
Oh, 15%.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Is it specific?
It was not specific because his workforce is general.
Okay, so what, how are we gonna do specific here?
All right, so I can say I can add sales in front of workforce.
Okay, so increase what?
The sales workforce.
Okay, sales
Workforce, yes.
workforce. Okay, so I understand the workforce are going to be sales in the area of sales because they are going to help me to sell more, right?
Right.
Okay, what's the next?
Exposure. By I'll say maybe July 2022.
Okay, tell me what, am I still on the first goal, or you give me a second goal? Which one is
Well,
it?
that's part of the first goal.
Date.
I'm giving you the
Oh, the
date.
date, okay, by what day?
Yeah, July 2022.
Okay, July 2022. See, that's thinking because the holidays are coming right after that, and you
Right.
have training to do, and then you assume by September they're hitting the ground running.
Right.
And okay, got you. Okay. Is there a second goal that you're going for? It doesn't have to be, because you could be that tight where it's one big, audacious, hairy goal that you're going to do this. And you realize that for you to scale the business, you need the sales force. Is there anything else that you will need in order for that sales force, or for any other way for that business to scale? Anything else that you could think of? Imagine your business. Now you have the sales force. They're trained, they have the product, all of that, that.
I would say also increase your marketing budget.
Increase marketing.
Or instead of budget, say marketing activity.
Okay, well, is that specific? Marketing activity, is that specific?
Well, you're gonna be doing, I guess part of that would be your marketing plan would be more specific, because
Okay.
the goal is the larger
So
scale, right?
is
And
that-
then you
yes.
have under your marketing plan is where you would break it down as to how.
Of how you're going to get that. No, am I increasing the market plan, or am I creating the marketing plan as a goal?
As a goal, you're increasing your marketing activity, is what I was thinking. I mean, I guess you can say a budget, because if you increase the budget, you can have a plan under the budget also.
Okay, so you're going to increase budget. Marketing budget, that's specific, what budget, right?
Mhm.
Okay, I have the name, I don't see the quantifiable. What's quantifiable here?
By 30% by September 30th.
By 30% September 30th. You can stop at 2 or maximum 3. What do you think? We stop at 2 or maximum 3. Is this sufficient, you think, for scaling the business? You're going to grow the business 30% by December 2022. For that to happen, you need to set a goal. And the goal is, we figured the first one is increase sales force by 15% by July 22nd. The question is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it realistic? Attainable, realistic, time bound? We increase the sales force, that's specific. By 15%, it could very well be, that's measurable. There, I could see the measurement is 15%. Is it realistic based on where you are? If it's now, till then, it's a possibility that's definitely attainable, realistic. And I see the time bound on it, July 2022. Be more specific by putting a day in July 2022. That's how specific you can. So what date should we put in there?
July 15th,
July 15th. There you go.
2022.
By 2022. Okay. And this one was increased marketing budget by 30% September. What day in September? September 30th, 2022?
Yes.
Okay. So is that goal sufficient for now? Right? Just want to know. Okay.
I guess it would depend on what you're trying to get to.
The objective, you see, that's
Yeah.
what that's the idea. The objective is what's going to guide what you need in your goal. And your goal should never exceed 3. It could be 1. That's how tight you can make it. But you should not, and you don't do all 3 at the same time. Right? So you could do 1 in that objective, or you could set all 3, because sometimes you can get the 2 for, the 2 for 1. So if you set all, when you're out there doing the 1, you realize, oh, that's a resource I can save for when I get to goal number 2, right? So that's why you may have 3 goals in there. Now, if it's a retail company, that means Natasha's input will fill in there when she says increase inventory, but you don't know. If it's a retail company, you will need inventory, right? If it is, I'm not hearing from my retailer, Gracia. Okay, I'm not hearing anything.
I'm listening and taking notes.
Yes.
So-
I would say,
Okay,
since you said retail and pertaining to our store, because what we do, we usually present new items in the menu.
You are presenting, repeat that again.
So we usually add new items to the menu.
You
So
add
that can be,
items to the menu if you're scaling to get more clients.
I didn't hear your last response.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, the scale, yeah. The scale
Yeah.
business,
yeah.
the
So
scale customers,
so you're adding more products
more product, right? New
because
product.
you're scaling in revenue as well, right? Revenue signifies
Yeah,
scale.
attached to the new product, right?
You
Okay.
see, Winnie, that is one thing that I do that already as a matter of fact, my customers have become so spoiled that
Mhm.
every year they expect it. They are literally expecting it. They will come and they'll say, oh, what's the new item for this year?
Mm.
So I know, well, every year I know I have to make, for example, this year I made a new chutney.
Mhm.
I made a new chutney and then I made a drink that I had not made before, because I know that they come every year and they expecting something different. So the scaling by adding the new products is something that I've already started doing.
Okay.
Yes.
And who said yes? Is that Natasha, you said yes? Somebody said yes.
No, that wasn't me.
Okay, somebody said yes. I don't know who said it, but it would be good for me to give the credit to say who said yes.
I'm not in retail.
Oh, that's
so-
Pat. It's
No,
Pat
I
who said it.
didn't. I did not say yes.
But
No,
you all
but
heard somebody said yes, right? You
I
heard
thought so too, but I was
I
saying I'm
thought it
not
was
in.
Gracia. I thought it was her.
Yeah,
Gracie,
I'm
was
not
it
in
you?
I thought it was
retail.
Gracia. That's how
Maybe
she
at the
ended it.
beginning.
Who said yes?
Yesterday, I overheard someone talking that was selling something. They were selling natural hair products.
Uh-huh.
And they were talking about what will be their next product. Their new product is coming out next month. And I was
see.
thinking, well, I never thought about that you're selling hair products. I thought you would, probably improve on your products, but not consistently come out with new products.
Improve
Right.
upon it, exactly. And you brought up a very important point that we're going to discuss in a second, right?
Right.
It may not be feasible to be increasing your product line. It depends. That's where the strategy comes in, right? Because somebody might be asking you for a new product, and we get it. We write into companies and we tell them things have to be changed, and we wait in 2-3 years and we see nothing has changed because they have to follow. There are many bells and whistles you have to consider before you decide you're going to increase your line, right?
Right.
The more products you bring on is the more it costs you. That's a whole, when we do profit, the profit first class.
Profit and loss.
Yeah, the profit first. There's a class that I'm going to be giving called Profit First, and you all could purchase that book ahead of time and it will blow your mind. Okay. Every company should have that book called Profit First. It's a whole different way in how you grow your business, how you stay lean and you increase your profit, right? It's amazing. So if you get it on Kindle or audio, it is, I like it on the audio because I was able to listen while doing things, and I had to stop because the guy was just so profound. It's amazing. So we're gonna do that class. So you're gonna add new products, but you see, I need what? What do I need? Quantifiable.
More quantifiable. It's more goals.
So what is the number here? Just not add new products. What's the
Or we
specific?
can add a number, like let's say I'll add, maybe a total of 5 new products by.
Okay, add 5 products. Okay. By
June 15th, 2022.
June 15th, 2020, what?
2.
All right, so let's look at our goal. Our objective is to grow this business. The boss comes in, which is you, and you slap it down. Guys, you gotta grow this business, 30%. The bank just told us we can get our money if we can prove that we can grow our business 30%. You came back and you say self, because now you're the only person, so you're talking to yourself, like yourself from the boss talking to the employee, which is you, okay? So
You're looking in the mirror.
you look in the mirror and you
Yeah.
talk to the employee in the mirror and said, people, guess what? We got to increase this by 30%. What's the goal? All right. So the goal is going to be, and this is where if you really had a team, they could be a strategic partner in helping you to come up with the goal. How are we going to do this? So one person says, increase sales force. No, it was increase the workforce, not specific enough. You want me to increase them in technology? Where? No, we're specific. We want sales. We decide we're going to grow it in sales, right? So you're growing it in sales. And then you said you want it to go along with it, keeping it tight in the goal. You're bringing on more salespeople. And what is the next category? It's going to be, now we need a budget to bring on the salespeople. And we going to add 5 new products. So technically, it should be the budget supporting them, right? So the budget is sitting between the two, and you could reformat if you want. So now the budget has to include the cost of the 5 new products and the salespeople. Now, by 15%. So whatever number we have to add 15% to get the actual number of employees. All right. So 15% from 0 is what? 15. You have 0 employees. What is 15% to 0? Added to 0 in amount.
15% of nothing.
15% of 1, if you multiply by that or whatever number. But
Right.
when you have a physical number, instead of the percentage, it's much more quantifiable. It helps the employees to know 1, 2, 3, because then you don't want them to go with just percentage because they don't know what the percentage is.
Right.
What exactly is that number? And you can stick it in there. Right? So even if you figure they said 30%, when you get the actual number from what you have, put that real number in there. It's much more motivational than it just being the percentage.
So when are you saying $100,000? That's more visible.
Yes, it's more, yeah, whatever the dollar amount is, whatever the quantity numbers are, the percentage is the hierarchy, but when you want to give it out, what's really inspiring is when you could quickly see what the numbers are.
Got it.
You see, so you had a marketing budget of 30%, and the 30% is of what is your base number, right? And we in the practice, because in reality, it's not this simple. You really would have to know where you're starting from and add that number. But I'm just taking you through the exercise that I want you to go through. But knowing your numbers, there's a different class in learning so that when you're adding the 30%, you're adding 30% to your base number. That's why Annette will always say, know your numbers. Know your numbers, because when you know your numbers, you want to see how feasible that really is. With you? Okay, let's go to.
Any, what about services? Because I don't do sales products.
Okay, services, same thing. How do you increase your service? What could you add? And services are low budget, you know that, right?
Mhm.
But high budget services are low budget. So if you ever need to increase money and you have a product, here's a tip: increase your service, which is low budget, but will pay you higher multiples. Your profit line on service is 60-40. 60% profit. When you're on a service business, your goal is a 60% profit on products. It's basically a 3% margin on profit on products, because there's a government regulation of how much you can really get away charging for a product. It has to fall in a certain, like Gracia sells products. She sells beautiful, delicious, dehydrated. You all need to buy her stuff, okay? She sells it online, let it ship. I mean, great stuff. But no matter how great it is, and no matter how expensive it is, she can only cap it. What's the size bag you have for your granola? The size bag.
I have 8 ounce and I have 16 ounce.
How much is the 16-ounce bag of granola?
Truthfully, it depends where I sell it. And I will say why. If I'm doing it at the regular market, then my cost is less. So I would sell the smaller, the 8 ounce for 10 and the bigger one for 19. If I go to one of those big events where I have to pay like $500 for the event, then I would put $1 or $2 on it to kind of
Make-
help balance the
To
cost.
make it, so what would that price be?
So then the small one would be, instead of 10, it would be 12, and the bigger one, I would just round it off to 20.
Okay, and is it within the market range of price? It's in the market range of price. If you were to sell it for $50, what do you think would have happened?
Well, I don't think, I mean, it would be more difficult to sell it for $50, but where I am, truthfully, I sell my stuff mainly in Long Island, and I have absolutely no problem. They will pick it up the very same way. No problem.
Okay, but technically, because it's a food item, there would be a cap in how much she can actually charge.
I mean, of course, you cannot overcharge the people, but
Yeah, there is
even the
still a cap.
organizers of the market, they will tell me straight up. They'll say, listen, you have plant-based, you have good stuff. Don't be afraid to put a little extra on it to help you defray your cost, because
Of
the people who
course.
come there, they have money, they can pay for it.
Yes, absolutely. But realistically, they may not pay $50 for 16 ounce granola.
Of course not.
Oh, you
I mean,
see? So that's what I'm saying. But if it's a service, there is absolutely no cap on price of service. That's why I always tell a company, go with product and service, or basically service first and product, or bring a product, because people don't know you, they want to touch something. So you have a product, but have your service, as I think it's Elaine that says she doesn't have a, so one of you said you don't have a product, you have a service. It's the easiest thing to scale. It's pure profit.
So Renee,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't have products, I have service. So you're saying
Absolutely.
the cap is 60,
The
60/40?
profit, your profit margin.
or the profit margin?
Yeah, your profit margin could be 60%. I still think, depending on if you have, because you have employees, right? Employees are very expensive. But if you're lucky to get away, when it comes to service-based business, there's only so much software you can use to help you, because people want that personal touch and experience, right? That's what they're paying for. And that's why you can pay multiples, because they're getting you instead of a digital product, right?
Mhm.
That's basically it. So you can charge. I mean, right now, the going rate in my industry is $10,000 for service. And people are paying those type of monies, right? But that's why you have to, there's ways for you to look within your skills and see what it is that you can, like Gracia. Gracia can make a whole lot of money, but she has to bring on additional people to scale. Giving an example, I know for a fact that Gracia knows how to do this program called 8 Laws of Health. It's an 8-week program, and people are paying anywhere from $500 to $795 for that program. Now, if she put 12 people in a class paying $795, who can do the math? $795 times 12, who can do the math? So we can show Miss Gracia what kind of money she is making, okay? That's her
96.
second, what is it?
12 8s are 96.
12 8s and 9, no, I want to know. 12
$9,540.
What is it?
$9,540.
Gracia, can you deal with that kind of money?
You may need some help. I can
you
help
mean
you out.
if I could navigate through it, I would want it, of course.
Okay.
I can help you out. We can
That's
co-manage
right.
that.
You see what I'm talking about?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's easier to get somebody who can manage that, put you up there, and they sell that service.
Mhm.
It is. We have Ratasha. Ratasha is a coach for leaders in, is it managers, Ratasha?
Yes, leaders and managers, and now I'm working on coaching and plant-based community.
In wait a minute, what's a plant-based community now?
And in essence, for health and wellness, that's what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. And she is going to do that. Now, if my coach was working with Natasha, she's going to tell Natasha right off the bat that her program would be $10,000. Okay, she will tell her 10, 25, and 30, and anything under 10 would be 5,000. And that would be a soft thing in a group. And then anything else under that would be people buying her digital service where she's teaching all that digitally. That's how my coach would tell her.
And you're right, Winnie.
You see what I'm saying? So the
Absolutely.
right, the confidence to know all of that, that's really what it would be. Let's move on to the last one here, which is strategy. So what would be the strategy that we are going to use now to see the strategy? Watch the strategy. The strategy has to be, how are you going to find these people for the sales force? I need to see the how. You see, the how is the strategy. How are we going to go about? And it doesn't require numbers. Strategies does not require quantifiable numbers. It's just talking about the methodology, the how you are going to get these salespeople. How are you going to establish the budget? How are you going to create those 5 new products? So let's talk strategy for each of those. The first one, how? What's the strategy for finding these employees? What's the strategy? How are we going to find them?
You may go to either job fair or Indeed or word of mouth.
Job fair is one. Indeed, word of mouth. Okay. That's one strategy. Any other strategy for how you're going to find? You covered all 3. So that covers that strategy, right? What's the next goal that you had? Increasing the product.
The workforce?
That's the workforce.
I'm sorry, the marketing budget.
The marketing budget. So what are we going to do for marketing budget? How are we going to establish that marketing budget? Just think about it really good. Who is in charge of the marketing budget? Who would you have to help you identify if you have that budget and to help you set that budget?
Well, it could be your
Next
was it
person.
CPA?
EPA, okay, so what is it? What's how I put it in that word? Have, that is CPA established. Oh no, we're gonna establish.
But couldn't an accountant do that as well?
Same thing, but you in a business, you should be only talking to CPAs.
Okay.
Just remember that. When your accountant is when you just have a job, but when you have a business, take it from moi. CPA, because that's the only ones that really have the skill to grow with you and to set you up for your growth. You need to tell your CPA what you're trying to achieve, what your vision is. He or she now will set you up in a way to achieve that. They're not the one that can throw you under the bus by writing you a negative tax return and an opportunity comes up for you to borrow money, and now you can't get the money because the accountant think he was helping you out, didn't know you were planning to grow, and just decide not to. Hello, okay? I won't tell you how many people did not get PPP, EIDL, or because they're working with the wrong, they didn't tell the CPA, and the CPA didn't care enough to ask, what's your vision? Everybody that comes on your team must know your vision. If not, you're in trouble. Are you planning to grow? Are you planning to have multiple locations? Are you planning to do what? Tell them that from the beginning and they will set you up what lovely and right. Okay, so only a CPA can do that, an accountant cannot. They will try, but they don't have all the bells and whistles to keep you safe in that process.
But you know, Winnie, if I may say something,
Yes, ma'am.
I am one of those who fell into that, but I don't know if we'd call it a trap, but that situation. And my accountant knows all of my my goals, etc. Sometimes sometimes the accountant himself would say, "Oh, you should do this and you should do that." So he
Okay.
did know my stuff, but then when he filed my returns for 19, he did file it in the minus. I mean, yes, it is true. I that year was difficult, but still, he still filed it and had me in the minus,
Mhm.
in the red, you could say.
Right, because you did not anticipate the growth, you know? So even though you had expenses, I will always not, because your expenses can be prorated. If I had a ton of expenses for this year, I don't have to list them all this year. I could do some this year, some the following year, some the following year, so that I will have, even if I made only $10, I'm going to show $3 profit. But I may already have $10 of expenses. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
That is very, very important. All righty. I have Patrice coming on at this time. All right, so we established the budget with help of CPA. And you could put accountant, but I know I have to do CPA. What's the next thing on the list? The third one was the product increase. What's the strategy for increasing your product? You have 5 products that you're going to bring online. What is the determining factor before you decide?
Research,
You're going to do the research.
right?
So it's research, right?
Research. I'm sorry?
Research what?
Research, well, we would like research the area, research trends that are going on and see how we may be able to capitalize on those trends, how close they are to the products we may sell, or would it fit our target audience? So that's how.
Okay, research trends
Mhm.
to see if product fits. Is that what it is? No.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it would be a viable product that's gonna be able to bring revenue. And is it worth it? So, yeah, research trends.
But what if it is a product? What if it is a product that, okay, for example, in my situation, right? In my case. So
mhm.
I'm at the market and I have my customers and they come and many of them will say, for example, they'll say, "Oh, I want something savory, something spicy. Can you make a pepper jam or something like that?" And what I would do to evaluate, I wouldn't just go make it, because sometimes some customers would come and they would give you some recipe or some ideas like banana and some other stuff they will tell me. I'm like, what? Who wants a banana jam? You know? So sometimes when they would say, you don't always just go ahead and do it because the customers say, but what I would do, I would reevaluate to see how many customers who come to ask me for the same product.
Yes,
And
right.
if I have like a lot of people coming and asking me for the product, then that's how I do the product. And then when I do it, it sells pretty well, because by then I know the market is ripe and they want the product.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
that's how I do
How
mine.
many consumers desire new product line? Okay. Correct?
Yes,
What you're saying. How many of them desire the new product line?
the need for it.
Yes. Okay. So that's very important, because you can run out and buy a product and then you don't have the amount of people that must buy the product in order for it to be the viable product, right?
Right.
How many people buying that product for it? Because you know what it's going to cost you to produce one product, or how many was your minimum order, right? Some companies will say, if I'm going to make this product, I have to have a minimum order of 500 pieces for it to make sense. Right? So if you find that you don't have a market that's willing to have 500 pieces get consumed, you're already in the negative. You're holding inventory. That's the danger when you're working with products versus service.
Mhm.
Okay, so you have to watch that. You can watch it. That's why I recommend that you have a service with a product, because you see, when you have a failing area, which is still not the best way of running a business, because everybody must carry their own weight. But as Damon John will tell you, when he was working with a clothing line, he said when he started, he didn't have money. He would buy the Champion sweatshirt and he would put his patch over the Champion and try to sell it for 49. And the people say, no to do. We're only going to pay you 25 for it. And he said, but 25 is what I bought it for. But he said he had to sell it back at 25. People would think it's stupid, but he said, no. In business, it's called a loss leader. In other words, you're not making a money, but you're selling to a client to gain a client.
Yeah.
You see, so now he has a lot of clients at 25. So when he had them then he went for the investment money now to now buy products that he could afford to put it on. He had those core clients who know like what it is to be able to buy an original from him. And that's how he scaled. That's a whole different methodology of teaching. But yes, you can have a product as a loss leader. So when we're dealing with product sales, which is a different class I'd like to teach, I think it's somewhere on the calendar this month. The product sales is very, very important in knowing when you're doing that, right? And some people would say, okay, so I have this, but make sure it's a loss leader. It's not costing you other than paying you exactly what you pay for it. Do not go in the negative. Do not go in the negative. So that's more advanced training in that regards, right? Okay, so now what we're going to measure. Measure is, did you the manager coming in, you want to know, remember what the measurement says? The measurement says, you want me to go back because it's so far back? Let's see if we can go back to measures so you can understand measures. Strategies, so after strategies, measures, here are the measures. The project management metrics allow companies to determine the success of a project, right? So it helps the project manager evaluate, that's the key word, a project status. Now you remember the strategies, right? Now we're gonna have to break out strategies before measures, the actual work that's being done and by whom and when. Is it done daily, once a week, by whom? And they must show the numbers. So Gracia went to market, okay? The goal was she's supposed to sell X amount of products. So Gracia went to market, and she went to market, and her goal is to sell X amount of products. She just doesn't show up at the market and says, who want to buy? No, she has to go with an intention that 5 of this has to be sold, 5 of that has to be sold, 5 of that has to be sold. So all day she's setting her intentions that if she sets that intention, the 5 will be gone or maybe left 2. So I come back, she comes back, I'm asking her for status report. You see, that's what's a status report. So the goal was to sell 5 of this, right? Or what have you, but she only sold 4. Now you have to know what percentage is she off of that goal. When I come to measure and she gives me the numbers, that's how I will know what's the status, right? Can I foresee risk and assess the team productivity and quality of work? Okay, so if Gracia, I'm putting, okay, so she came back selling, 4 and she has 1, great. But what if I sent her out 3 times and she came back with all 5 each and every time? What am I supposed to do here now?
Well, you reevaluate to find out whether the product is good for the market. Because in my example, I do different markets, and not all products are good for all markets.
That's right.
There are certain markets that I will go to, and my jams and my breads and my lemon balls and stuff will just go. I will sell out. Yesterday, when I went to the market, I was in Brooklyn, the granola and the stuff that I had, I noticed did not sell out as much, but my drinks, before I was even halfway through, I was out. And I was like, oh my goodness, if only I knew, I would have brought so many more drinks. So different markets have its different pool. And you have to know your market to know, well, if I'm going to this market, this is what sells. So you go with this. And if I'm going to that market, when I go to Long Island, I do my vegan pop-ups. When I go to Long Island and I do my vegan pop-ups, all the jams and all those things, they go because the white people like those kind of stuff. The black folk, they don't like jams and stuff that much. They like other stuff. So you really have to know your market and what the people want, where you go. And that is how you will go and not come back with stuff.
Very good. So in business, we call that know your target market, right? If you know your target market, you cannot fail. So right now, Gracia, you should have a complete dossier of all markets and what sells in that market. And let me tell you, that's priceless. You can literally sell that for millions, okay? Because you have done the research. You're doing what we call the proof of concept. You go out in different markets and you're testing and you're coming back with that. So now when you're ready now to do this, you're good. So if I'm the manager checking the metrics, and the metrics were for you to check out the market, trend, and you're going to Brooklyn, blah, 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 I am checking the measurement. How was Brooklyn? Okay. How was that? How much did you sell in this one? And what day did you sell it in? Because maybe the day you sold has them. So I want to see you do several types of days to see what for a whole month to really get a traction and a good analytics, right? Measures and analytics. Now I need to foresee the risk, because if I went to Stephen and borrowed $500 from Stephen to go buy the products to give it to Gracia to sell, and Stephen says, Winnie, at the end of the month, I need to have X amount of money on this 500. Okay, and I'm doing the measurements. Week 1, she didn't sell anything. Okay, my pulse is beginning to okay.
Stephen don't play with his money.
Oh Lord, that's right now. Okay, that's my loan sharker over there. Week 2, Gracia said, I only sold 2. You notice what it says? Foresee the risk. I'm foreseeing the risk. She needs to sell this by the first week, this by the second week. She's off by 60%. I am sweating. I've got to make some changes fast. You saw how Stephen's rubbing his hands? All right, you have to realize the risk. You borrowed the money. So you're supposed to say, before you borrow the money, I must sell this by first week, this by second week. By second week, I need to make some changes, because based on what was done week 1 and week 2, I can't go into week 3 not making a change, because there's a risk involved.
Mhm.
Do you see what I'm saying? So you're managing the risk. And the team productivity, maybe I have to take Gracia out from that, and I may have to put the strongest salesperson on the force right there, or move her from that market if I had the experience. Why? This is why the bank will not loan you money on startups, because they want you to do what Gracia is doing. Who buys what, where, and when? When she has that solid report and she goes to the bank, they will give her the money, because they see that she has experience knowing where she will sell what to get back that money in 30 days. That's the proof of concept. That's why you must do measurements. Now, if she approaches the bank showing that, she'll get the money, depending, of course, on the management things that she's going to tell them. Right? She doesn't have an accountant or whatever. That might be a problem, right? So if she comes with a solid thing and a report like what she just said, I hope you're not taking that for granted, Gracia. It should be documented, because that's what you're going to do in your pitch when you need money. She has done the proof of concept. Which market buys what? That's power. I don't even know if she realized that's power, but that's what your measurement is doing. What is measured is managed. if she didn't just, she just took it for granted and just what have you, but she's not documenting it, that's where the problem is. So that's really what we meant by doing it. So we go back down here, we finish this, and now you're gonna work on yours, right? So what are we measuring? Based on that, what are we measuring? You need, we remember what is the objective goal? Let's go back because I welcome Patrice. Patrice, you just came, slipped in, I saw you. All righty, let's see this. So we go back to what are we measuring? Can I see it? Purpose of OGSM. This is the exercise. So we are scaling, which is growing the business by 30% by December 2022. The goal is to increase sales for workforce. You're gonna hire more people then, a higher, sales force, okay? By 15% by July 15th. A second goal, you're gonna increase your marketing budget by 30% by September 30th, 2022. Your third goal, you're gonna add 5 new products by June 15, 2020. The metrics, the measures is that it's gonna measure the activity. We're gonna measure what Gracia is doing in order to see what percentage. Are you close to 30% of that increase, or are you only at 15%? You won't know unless you're asking the questions from the strategic team. The one that is that they call that tactical strategy. So when we use the word strategies, you have the house strategy, which is the overall strategy, but you take those strategies and you make it tactical. That means it's your task for the week. So Gracia said, I'm going to Brooklyn. When, Gracia? Let's use her, okay? Because she's live on this. What day? So her week starts. What day did you go to Brooklyn, Gracia?
I was there yesterday. No,
She was
yes.
there yesterday, which is Sunday. Okay,
Yes.
what else is on your list between now and the next weekend?
Repeat. What did you say? I didn't hear.
Are you going to market for the rest of the week?
Yes, I go to market Wednesdays, Thursdays, sometimes Fridays, Sundays. Yes.
Okay, so watch this now. You watch this. We're going to sell the product, right? So I need to know from my tactical sales team what's on your schedule. So pretend Gracia is not my only salesperson, but as the manager, I need to see her tactical plan. The tactical plan that sits on my desk is that I have this many salespeople out, and they're going to be somebody, X amount going to be in Brooklyn on Sunday, X amount going to be in Brooklyn on Wednesday, X amount going to be Brooklyn on Friday. I mean, not Brooklyn, different areas, right? So, right?
Yeah.
You get my point. Somebody's in Long Island, somebody, but they're out in the field.
Right.
Now I need to measure. Every one of you, when you come back in, I want reports. I want reports. I want reports. Why do I need the reports? Based on this, why do I need the reports? What am I doing? We're in measurements right now.
You're doing the metrics, right?
I'm doing the metrics, right? Metrics.
You're
what I'm-
measuring how successful the market
Numbers, no,
are.
measures are quantifiable. They must basically know what? How,
That must help us see if she's getting to that goal that she set for,
Right,
was
so-
it 15%? Was it
Yes.
15%?
right, so at this point, if it was 15%.
Did
what-
she go over? Did she make less?
Yeah,
Did she
now
hit
what was the
target?
15%? What was the 15% at that point? You remember the employees, right? We're
Right,
increasing the staff. So we are going to check how many employees are hired. You see why you should know the numbers are not 15%? Let's use the word if it's
got it.
employees,
Right.
right? You see how easy? I could then say, when I do my measurement, I could say 15 employees hired.
Mhm.
But maybe it was 10 employees hired, so I'm short. You see, but I'm measuring, right? The next one, what am I measuring? I'm measuring the budget by what? Budget, what if the budget got disapproved? We could throw that in there,
Budget.
right? Budget disapproved. Oh, boy. What's the next thing? Is what? Product line.
I'm lost on this one.
Okay, so remember what we are measuring, right, is the goal.
Right.
Right, so here is the goal. Let me see if I find the goal. This is the goal. 3 things. See, there was 1, increase the sales force,
Mm-hmm.
increase the marketing budget,
Okay.
and add 5 new products.
And by what date?
And by what date? There you go. So
Yeah,
the only,
2022.
right, it's 2022, sorry. Right, 2022. Now watch this, Natasha. The goal, the measurements are only supposed to attach to the goal. That's what you're measuring. So the goal is set, the manager has to go out and measure, keep the eyes only on the goal. So all activities from the entire operation has to line up with the goal. So when I'm the manager walking through the department, I want to make sure everybody in the department and their work is supporting us reaching that goal. So only 3 things I'm measuring. There are 3 goals. I'm only measuring 3. The risk is we did not get the budget. So what the heck gonna happen now? We have to scale this by December 2022, and we didn't get the budget. So what do you think gonna happen?
You navigate and you come up with something else, even if you didn't get that, but you still can see how much you can still come close to scaling.
Right. So either you throw the towel under, or you didn't get the budget, or how creative can you get?
Mm-hmm. As they say, pivot, right?
Yeah, can you collaborate with somebody where you could reduce the cost? Maybe you rework it that you don't have to go in 100%. Maybe you can piggyback on somebody else's expense and just cut them in on a percentage of sale. They're cutting your expense budget, right? So you become very creative. You didn't get the budget, you become very creative.
Okay.
So this is the main reason when you think there's a risk, this is where you come in with, where is it? The strategy, on goal. This is where when you decide you're going by 30% on the budget, this is where you come into the strategy that just in the event, the budget, that's the different strategies that the budget didn't work because there's a possibility, what are you kicking in? Collaborate. Okay, so collaborate with other complementary, right? Complementary service providers. So that means, or vendors. Okay, so this way you will know that when you do that, you're reducing your costs. Even if instead of getting money, always find the lowest way out when you have something new, and you have always work on somebody else's platform. Don't try going out on your own. Work on somebody else's platform, right? So that means if the budget didn't get approved, I'm not under the bus because I'm going to do what now? Pivot to plan B.
Right.
Right? You have the 15 employees hired, so you have the budget to shave money off of maybe I would withhold the 5 new products right then there, or if I get a contract. So therefore, I should put in the strategy. Back up. See what he do that? Get what? Get
Get a contract.
for new product line. So if they give you the money up front, when you take the money on that, so if the budget didn't go through, can you still have the product line if a company decides that they want to buy it and they give you that money up front?
Yes.
So you see the purpose of the strategy? So the strategy is all what ifs, loaded with what ifs, and you put those in place that if that doesn't happen, boom, this is already here. Or what will prevent you doing them all? you only make money. So you don't, the strategy could be a whole lot of various ways you're going to skin the cat. That's how the strategy works.
So BD,
Is this-
Yes, yes, Pat?
I'm sorry, I'm saying if I could interrupt and ask a question.
Sure, sure,
here.
sure.
So for me, as a startup company, I do not have a lot of money to put into marketing
Mm-hmm.
my business. So one of the things that I do is I place like job ads on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
Instagram,
Yes,
and Twitter. Those are all free, right?
yes,
Sources.
yes, yes.
And oftentimes people will ask me, well, are you getting results from placing those ads per se, or those jobs on those social media sites?
Mm-hmm.
And the way I look at it for myself is that I'm getting my business name out there.
That's good. See,
So I look at
goes
it
under
as,
the goal objective, right?
yes.
Very good.
So would that be considered a way of collaborating with other complementary vendors?
That could be, but
Because I don't have
side of
this.
it- don't lose sight of your objective. You just said your objective is to get your name out there. So at that time, you're not, if it happens to be that somebody says, yes, you know, can you
Right.
or whatever, that's fine. But you know your focus and your objective is to get your name out there, and how long will you be doing that for? You see, there goes the time.
Okay.
So your goal is post on social media for 6 months or 3 months, right?
Mhm.
Follow me. If you going along with somebody else's program, you are going to get sponsored for, because right now, every single finance company want nurses. I made over $2,500, which I'm not going to call the name of the insurance company, because I got nurses in the room and they paid me $2,500. Most insurance company will pay you $2,500 if you can fill the room with nurses. Everybody wants access to nurses for one reason and one reason only. Why? Why do you think everybody wants nurses?
Because of their income.
Because of their high,
Because of their income, not.
Demand.
high income.
Mhm.
And they don't know what to do with it. And Uncle Sam is eating them alive. See, so that's how I would have collaborated to make some money. You got the goods, right? You got the goods. You know, retailers. I think I have another retailer here, clothing retail. Patrice, am I seeing you? If I could see Patrice, I can't see it from here because I don't have the whole thing. Patrice sells clothing. And I know for a fact that nurses love to buy bags, shoes, clothing, the whole 9 yards. So imagine, you see, collaborating, which means Patrice will collaborate with you. So you have nurses for exposure. But you're not giving up your nurses catalog for any and anybody. You got to get paid. And you're not going to make sure they get abused either. You're just basically exposing them, right? So that's a different conversation. Yes, you can do that. You have viable inventory of money that everybody wants to find a consumer with money. And so these nurses can know you vetted the people who they want to see, you vetted them. BMW got to give you some money if you bring nurses down to their showroom. Nurses want to drive a BMW, all right? So there's so many ways you can make money outside of just getting staffing positions in hospitals. You have, that's a whole different program I'll have to tell you about, okay?
But I'm waiting to hear about it.
Okay, yeah, many, many, many ways. Everybody wants the nurses, okay? Everybody wants the nurses. All righty, so that being said,
Oh, that's the right thing.
yes, what?
I just realized I need the nurses too.
You know, okay, there you go. You need nurses too. I'm to everybody. So we just have to let her know she's got money sitting in. That's why I said the money out there. We just have to be in this mastermind class to see it. And when you have an OGSM and you're following the various ways that you can get your name out there, or in your case, get your name out there. In other cases, getting the clients. OGSM M is it. Your strategies list all the various ways. Some people will have, like you said, the job fair. Some people will go to product expos. Some people will go to the market like Gracia. There's so many ways. Referral marketing, you get X amount percentage if you can refer, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's so many ways. You just sit there and dream of the various vehicles and the
Really, I do events too. Markets and events.
and you do what?
Market and event.
Events, okay, so events, you'd have to tell me what the events are, but yes, you can definitely put it in there. Measures, because-
The markets are like the farmers market. This on the smallest scale. The events are the huge, like yesterday, they probably had more than 10,000 people going through those streets. The
Okay,
events are huge.
there you go. So therefore, you want to capture what? As many email address and phone number as earthly possible. And if they give you a bogus one, tell them they don't win the prize. Okay. If you're going to give them a coupon, it's going to be their email. So tell them if you don't get it, it's because your email address was incorrect. That's how you get it. You don't give them coupons, you email it to them. Make sure it's one they really want, okay? So we're digressing here. Let's get back to the measure. 15 employees hired because Ratasha, I don't know if you see what I'm saying. The measure is basically to match the goal. So when you're measuring to the goal. The goal had 3 things there and your measure should be 3. It should not be more than 3. So what you're coming back, you're answering me. I said, Ratasha, she's the manager now. I said, Ratasha, the goal was for this department is to get 15 employees. Let's say we put that out, okay? $30,000 in extra on the budget. And we have to start with 5 new employees. 5 new products. That's I'm pretending Ratasha is the project manager and she is now, I'm the supervisor. And I said, your department is supposed to do this. She is supposed to come back telling me, okay, so I'm saying, Ratasha, how many employees did you hire? She gives me a number. It could be the same amount, she could go over, or she could be under. I need that number. I said, how much did you get on the budget? The goal was 30,000 extra on the budget. Did you get that, Ratasha? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right, and she might say, yes, I got the 30,000, or she could say, no, I only got 15. You see what you're measuring against, Ratasha? You're measuring against the goal. Then I say, how many products did you put, new products did you start? Yes or no, did you start them? Or if you did, how many? Were they all 5 or how many did you get?
1.
1, there you go. That's your measure. The measure is to answer the goal. Right?
And when it doesn't mean that the other 4 is no good, it's just that it wasn't time to produce those on the product.
Right,
line.
and what other 4 you're talking about? What other 4 were you referring to?
Well, remember in their thing, they had 5. They said they wanted to do 5 products, new products.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's why I just picked 1. But just saying of the 5, the other 4 that you didn't use don't mean it can't be done
Right.
some other time.
It just
down the
means
road.
at the bottom line is when we came to the deadline, which is for the goal, it had to be done by what,
Such as, I think they
right?
said was
You only
September.
had 1, right? When we go back here, and I'm asking for the deadline, July 15, that's the report you're giving me.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So,
Sales, yeah.
okay, what is the risk here? Did we borrow money to do this? That's the risk.
We
Remember?
got denied.
Exactly. We could be running into trouble. We're going to be probably behind in our payments. Maybe it might mean that if we didn't manage properly. That's what this OGSM is designed to do, is to really keep you and on focus, hitting your goals and your numbers.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to give you a few minutes. Any questions at all? Now look at this. You may not finish it tonight, but This is what we did. The holiday is coming up.
It's almost 10 o'clock. I need to start.
Holiday sales? Are you launching a new program? Are you planning for spring 2022? What would it be? What are you planning for spring 2022? Are you hiring and training a team? Any of these could be an objective. You decide. We're ending at 10 o'clock. So I'm giving you a couple of minutes to at least get your objective in. If it's not perfect, it's fine, but I need you all to do a one-on-one with me to make sure that objective gets done. Because if you don't learn the science of it, I just want you to learn the science of doing it, because that's what you're looking at on your wall, okay? I'm gonna give you some nice music to hold you. And I don't know, I can't see, who else? Let me can see who's back here. Sylvia and Patrice, you're there nice and quiet. I don't know, I'm not getting any comments. Can I hear from Sylvia and Patrice? All right. Let me see.
Hi, good evening, Winnie. How are you?
Yes, madam. Tell me.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I've been off camera. I'm just having some stuff done in my house at this hour. I'm having like an alarm system being installed, and it's been going on since what, 4 o'clock?
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm having that. So that's my
Okay,
reason. I'm updating my alarm system in my security.
okay, my dear.
Yes, but I'm here. Hi,
You
good
know this-
evening, everyone.
You know, this was a workshop, right?
No, I know. I am aware. Good evening, everyone. I'm aware, and I've been taking notes, listening. It's just that it was supposed to take an hour or two, and it's just taking a lot more
Okay.
than usual. So it's just that he had to update it and upgrade and remove and replace. So that's the
Okay.
reason. But yeah, I've
Okay.
been listening. I've been taking all the notes. As far as what I need to do for Jetway, what's the, I sent you my business statement, my foundation, so I emailed that to you.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, I'm going to.
That's
bring
okay.
some-
Only 2.7% of the population has heard of this all-natural method that regrows teeth and gums.
This is for thinking and concentration. I'm giving you 3 minutes to get something on your paper.
Welcome to Rhythm Smartwatch. The SID for this account is
Vinnie, can I comment or add something?
Yes, please.
I think in terms of how the structure of OGSM,
Mhm.
I had thought the strategies come before the measures. And now you see the measures actually come before the strategies.
No.
No.
If you notice what we did, we had, if you remember what we have, let me go back over here. Let me get it up here. Purpose of the strategy.
The measures is to measure the goal. How you get
That's it.
the
That
goal.
is because you're working towards making the goal.
Yes.
Strategies are going to be the various avenues or ways you are going, backups. You're going to be doing this, plan B, plan C. That is lots of different ways that you are going to put in place. You're not doing them all, but you're picking X amount. That's the best viable option that you're going to use. If that backfires, you have plan B in place, right? Because the strategy is going to give you what you're going to work on your task that week. So for example, let's use Gracia. If Gracia says on her strategies that she's going to go to market to sell her products, right? And she decides she's going to go to Brooklyn, Long Island markets to sell her products. Then I need to see her task. need to see what days that she has decided to put. So you have to break that strategy of her going to the market, what days? And she has told me she's going Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. You see, then that's what I'm measuring. She's gonna come back and tell me what happened, how many did she sell? So I'm measuring her actions on the strategy that she.
Right, the task, yeah.
Yes. And then that's how I can come back to the person who's holding the gold to say, when the person says, so how much did you sell? How much did you hire if we're dealing with this case? How much? Just the three things. Whatever you have on the gold should not exceed 3. It could be 1, but should not exceed 3. And the measures will definitely deal with just that. It's measuring the action of the strategy, like her going to the market, selling this, or if it's the job fair, you went to the job fair. So I'm measuring you went to the job fair and the result of the job fair, right? Or you went to Indeed. What was the result of Indeed? I'm measuring the activity to the promise. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
I can see it.
Yes. So the goal has to be very clear so you know what you're managing, you know what you're measuring. Okay, 1 minute more. Okay. That's it. So who would like, I think two people could give me an example of how far you got. Anybody got objective, goal, strategy, and measures, even if you had one goal in, one strategy in, one measure? Anybody who can just give me a feedback on what you've accomplished so far?
So Winnie, I tried to write something down. So based on what we were talking about, I figured for me, to start with my objective, I would need to have three employees or 3 people to help me. And the date.
Wait, no, tell me what the objective is, following the formula of objective, right?
Yes, the objective. The objective is to at least to grow your business, In order to do that, I need,
By when? Not general.
oh, by June of next year,
Okay, June of what's the next year? Give me.
2022.
Okay. All righty. Do you have a specific date on June 2022?
Say June 15th.
Okay, so to grow my business by what amount?
15%.
Okay, 15% by June 15th, I think you said 2022. Okay,
Correct.
how are you gonna go about it? That's your goal. What is the goal now?
Okay, definitely by increasing sales.
Mhm.
Um,
Specific, measurable, so increasing the sales, what?
by 25%.
25%, okay,
Mhm. I
by,
would, by August of 2022.
but when was okay, so the first one was June,
Yes.
but then you're gonna increase the sales, that's the objective. So the goal must always be earlier than the objective date.
Okay.
Unless you're reversing it and saying August is the deadline for the objective and then
Okay.
June is it for goals, but your goal
Okay, so we could do that.
earlier date.
Okay, so we could put June for the goal and put August here for objective.
All right. And then what's next?
Okay, increase marketing budget.
That's also a goal?
Yes.
Okay. And I
'Cause
need
remember we had 3 or 4 for the goal.
not four,
Um,
not four. You could have one, not exceed 3.
Okay. So you know what? So let's put how we will go about increasing the sales by
Okay.
adding 2 new products.
Okay. So the goal is going to be adding 2 more products. Okay. By
June of 2022.
okay. So how are you, the strategies now, how are you going to go about doing that? Do you want the products to be part of a strategy move or is that a goal? Because it could be a strategy as a way, one way of you increasing products. I mean, increasing sales. It doesn't have to be a goal. It could be a strategy.
Yes, it can be.
Okay, so you want that to be a strategy, one of your strategies, one of your strategies.
It could be.
All right, so you need to increase your, did you say it was sales or employees? It was, wait a minute, what is the,
No, for here it's sales.
it was say the objective was sales?
The objective is to increase the employees because you have to have the employees to help you to get to the goal.
No. It's the goal to the objective, not the objective to the goal. That's why it says objective, goal, strategies, and measures, right? So what exactly is your objective? Is it sales? Is that you're increasing sales is your objective? Because like you said, you need the employees to do that. So the employee
Right.
is the goal. But the objective is what? The sales.
Yes.
To increase sales by blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Goal to do it, you were rightfully said you need the employees. So the employee would be a goal. How many employees?
3.
Okay. Then in your strategy now, what else? I mean, you can have more than one goal up there as ways of that you have to have in place. Right? Maybe you need products. I don't know. Do you need money? Do you need technology? Do you need a car? Do you need marketing?
I don't need a car, but I could do with the finance, definitely.
Okay, so the goal is to get what amount of money?
$50,000.
$50,000 by when? Because you have to know what you need that $50,000 to do.
By when you said?
Yes.
By
that's the goal.
August of 2022. by August of, no, not August, June of 22.
Okay. So you're watching your dates, okay? You're what, I know this is your mark of thing, but you're watching your dates, making sure your dates are realistic. That's a smart goal. Is it realistic towards what follows what? You know, so it's a lot of brain power, but you can think it through. That's why you need a team. So when you get,
Yes,
they help you to think it through, because on your own, it takes forever.
it does.
Unless you're a math whiz. Okay, so on your
Okay.
strategy, what are you gonna do on your strategy?
How am I going to achieve that?
Yes, what are various ways you're going to increase what? The,
Definitely by working with my CPA.
okay.
That would
Which
be
one
one.
is that? Which one, which strategy is doing what? Which goal is that covering? That strategy, working with CPA is covering what?
The sales part, the aspect, the sales aspect.
Okay. And what else? Based on the goal, look at the goal. The
Yes.
These have to support the goal. So what's on the goal that the CPA is also instrumental in helping you with? Look at your goal that you wrote. You
My
gave,
budgeting.
you gave me budgeting, but you said something else.
I said budgeting, I said sales.
You told me you
And
want
I get,
$50,000.
yes, budgeting. Well, I put that on the budgeting. The
Right, but remember
50,000.
it's specific, right? I'm looking for specific numbers by when. You said 50,000. So who is responsible helping you with that? I'm reversing the question. The initial question that you told me the answer.
Who would help me to do that? The CPA.
Okay, good. So the CPA is going to be instrumental in helping you to get that $50,000 because you know what he or she will be doing, right?
Right.
And also that's the budget, right? Exactly, the CPA. Now, what's the other area on your goal that's there?
The sales.
That's on the goal now.
The new product line.
It was new product line. I thought you said you had staff that's written down there. Or you were just,
employees.
Are you writing them down or they're coming from your head?
No, I'm writing them down.
Okay, so what's on the goal? We have the 50,000 as one.
I have the sales, the employees, and the date.
All righty. So on the strategy, how are you going to get the employees? On strategy.
Okay. Definitely word of mouth, because that is one of my strongest right now, speaking to people to know who's interested.
Mhm.
And one of the things we did mention, a job fair would be helpful as well.
Mhm.
So you could, and even with Indeed, which I do frequent sometimes,
Okay.
you could look for employees that way.
Okay. Okay. So you covered the employees and you covered the budget. Right? What else is left?
Just the date.
Okay. So just two things you had on the goal? Just the two?
I had the sales, and I had the budget, and I had the line of products.
The what?
The line of products, the two new products.
Okay, so tell me about that in the strategy. You can't, the strategy must show what you're doing to increase that, to determine that you're going with the line of products. What do you have to do?
I have to find the need for the product.
Okay, so find the need for the product, meaning you're gonna do what? How you're gonna find the need for the product?
Meaning I'm going to, based on my interactions with my customers, I'm going to find out what the need is.
Mhm.
And then I have to evaluate it to see whether it is something that would be profitable for me to do.
Very good. All righty. So now, you know, the tactical plan comes out of that, right? So you're going to decide when is the job fair, and you will say, what are you going to be doing to the job fair? So even though that's not part of the OGSM in what you deliver, I put that in there because that's what makes it very difficult to know what you're measuring.
Okay.
You're measuring the activity. So if you say you are going to go to a job fair, on your task list, you are going to make a list of all the things that you have got to get and prepare for the job fair.
Okay,
Follow me?
flyers and all of that.
Flyers, there you go, all of those things, and a date of when you're doing those things. And I'm measuring if you're on task, because if you had the flyers done by X amount of time, blah, 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 you follow me? You're on point. And then which job fair that you're going to, how are you going to know where the job fairs are? Whether you do the job fair or you're showing up at the job fair, you know,
Right.
all of that.
You have to do make contacts, the date, the time, the
That's
day.
right.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So now the job fair gets measured, right? Indeed, what have you. All of these are the activities I'm watching and holding you accountable for on a weekly or monthly basis, because you're being hired as an employee to do these tactical work. So by a certain time, we should have these employees based on all this work that you're doing, and I'm paying you for it.
Right.
You have to say you're paying yourself, but pretend you are the employee. Okay. All righty. So I'm teaching you to do that. So when you bring the employees on, you know what the job description is. And you want to see them do X by a certain time, because by that time you should get that, right? Same
Right.
with the loan. To get the loan, what would be the first thing you do?
Well, you have to decide which organization you want to get the loan from, whether it is
There
the
you go.
bank or
There you go.
another place that could lend you the money. You have to
And
see
what
your
day?
interest rate and all of that.
Right, and what day are you starting that? What day are you going to start looking for that bank? You're gonna say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you see what I'm saying? You put it,
Probably a Tuesday would be
Yes.
better. Monday, they might be kind of cranky because they
Okay.
just come back to work.
all right, but you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You're literally doing that.
Mm.
You're literally doing that. You're putting it on your task list. Is the failure to put them on your weekly task list why your goals don't get done?
Mm.
I've done all the strategies, but I'm not seeing it on the appointment book. And that's what you have to do. So you're measuring from that appointment book.
Very detailed.
Very detailed, because you can never miss if you follow exactly doing this. You can never miss. You'll be hitting your goal, hitting your goal, hitting your goal, hitting your goals. That's your business activity.
So you're measuring the task of the strategies and strategies.
You're measuring the task, exactly. So then all of the activities, so you figured when you put a date like June 15, and now is October, what's happening between October and June 15th is that you're making flyers, you're doing this, you're doing that. Every week, look what you're doing. You're calling you're doing interviews, you're doing that. You see, there's activities going on every week on your books.
Yes. Making contacts.
Exactly, every week. So when you are seeing those activities being done, you now know how close you are to the reality that by this time I should have employees.
Mm.
Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All righty. Anyone else? We're closing in 2 minutes. Anyone else would like to share? Or if you get only just one thing, objective. Just the objective. If you just did the objective, tell me what it is.
All righty.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes, good evening.
To scale our business 50% by October 10th of 2022.
Okay.
The goal we had was to sign 50 new clients by August 25th of 2022.
Okay, so August, wait a minute, let me get your dates down here. All right, so tell me again. The first one is,
Scale by 50%,
yes, by
October 10th,
October.
2022.
Very good. That's the objective.
Goal is to sign 50 new clients
Sign.
by August 25th, 2022.
Man, I tell you, very good. Strategies on how you're going to get it done.
We're going to increase mark. Oh,
Is that still
so
goal?
that's another
Or
goal.
strat-
Actually. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's another goal. So the strategies we're going to use is to research financial products that would be applicable to our clients.
Research financial products.
Right.
Okay. Mhm. Applicable
No, 2 is networking.
networking. Okay.
Increase our social media presence. IG,
Increase.
Facebook, our
Increase
podcast.
social. Okay, podcast, facial. Okay.
And then 4 is collaborate with complementary vendors.
Okay.
I have the other 2 goals. I don't know if you want me to add that or.
Well, you.
No, we don't need it, right?
I want to know the measure. How will you measure now? Each of these strategies got to get onto your weekly planning sheet, right, of activity.
Right.
At the end of the day, I'm looking to measure, did you get 50 new clients? So that's the one thing you're working on now, those 50 new ones,
Correct.
right? So I would need to know, when you break out the tactical plan and research financial products. Now you're saying it's 50 new clients,
Right.
but I'm not seeing how you are actually getting them. I see how you are promoting your business, but I'm not seeing the, and I guess because the other 2 goals you had there will correspond with the strategy. So give me the strategy of how you're going to get those 50 new clients. What's the strategy to get those 50 new clients? I know increasing the podcast.
Well, the
is an
strategy,
awareness.
yeah, podcast is one of the strategies we use
Yes.
for clients. Events that we either attend or do
Okay.
is another strategy.
Very
Because I
good.
also do like MC. So
Yes.
one of the events I did for my aunt, I was the MC. So I got a client from that one.
Okay.
I'm ordained, so I married a family member. So client from there.
All righty.
Um,
Okay. I'm seeing now. Okay.
that was it. And networking, word of mouth, because I do a lot of networking. I know a lot of business owners in the neighborhood.
Yes.
So I do a lot of networking.
Very good. Okay. So what are you measuring?
Well, I guess we'll be measuring the results.
Yes.
The results, how
Tell
many
me.
clients we get,
Yeah.
what time
so-
frame.
Yes. So you add, so your answer will be 50 receive, what it says, so your measure will be 50 new clients recruited by August 25th, right? Or
Right.
it might be 40 or it might be 10. So whatever number, did you hit the goal? Did you go over the goal or did you under the goal? But you're
Right.
measuring how many new clients are you getting from the podcast, from the events. You're not just doing them, but you're measuring what the sequence is. You gather their information. You're putting them in a sequence program, calling them on the phone or sending them something, email every week so they're top of mind, what have you, what programs you're having in place, all of that in order for them to sign on as your client, right?
Right.
The activities. Okay, so this is great. We come to the end of our evening. This is a recording that's going to be sent to all of you. I just want one word from each of you, what you thought of this. Basically what it's saying, thank you for participating here. Continue to practice using your OGSM in all of your planning. Enjoy the results. Wishing you continued business development, growth and expansion, and enter business pitch competition. Many of you have received the business plan competition that happens every year by QEDC. I emailed you, I believe,
Yes.
got that email with the link. All right, it's starting in March. They made sure they let the malls members know because you all have been working so hard. And if your revenue is under $100,000, you qualify to enter. Okay, so these are some of the things. The pitching is the main area. They're going to be just like Sharks. They're not going to use it on business plan like they did before. It's going to be you being able to pitch, just like they do on Sharks, but they're going to give you 4 months of training doing that. All right, so it's for spring of next year. I would love all of you to enter. That's going to put the pressure on to get it done.
Yep.
Okay, and so if you work on this and get your life plan pitch done, you're right on money. And then they're going to give you the 4 weeks of the 4 sessions between now and December. I think they're starting this month, if I'm not mistaken, all the way up to December, and it's now online, so you don't have to show up like we had to go to the libraries and those things. You do it right online. It's absolutely free. And then they handhold you to see if you need any help. So with them helping you and we're helping you, it's an unfair advantage for the others who have. I would like to see, and they give you 3 categories. I think it's either 3 or 4 categories that you can put your business under. Right, so read the inscriptions and let us know if you're ready to go for it. All right.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely inspiring.
Very good. One word takeaway starting from Gracia, and then we go to Ratasha, we go to Emily's, and we go to Pat Brown. Patrice, I don't know if you're on or you're just there. Elaine. Okay, starting with Gracia. One word, because we gotta close.
Inspiring.
All right, D. Okay. That makes me feel good. No, I shouldn't say that because I don't want all you all to come back and say that. I want you to speak your phone. Okay, Ratasha. You're muted, honey. You're muted.
Refreshing.
Refreshing. Okay. Stephen and Nairi.
Eye-opening.
Eye-opening. Okay, Pat Brown.
Thought-provoking.
Thought-provoking. Okay, Elaine Dixon, unmute and tell us.
Informative and encouraging.
Informative and encouraging. Patrice, we don't know if you're there. Can you?
I'm here.
Okay, sweetheart, welcome.
Thank you, thank you. Thought-provoking and causes my head to be spinning.
Okay, all right. So that means you're gonna book an appointment with me for us to get this done, right? Okay, very good, very good. Don't let it spin too hard. So make you a little sleepy so you can rest tonight. Very good. Sylvia? You're muted in event you're speaking, honey. You're muted. Okay, she may have stepped away. All right, guys.
Oh, yes, I'm so
I would
sorry,
have to
Miss
say,
Winnie.
Yes.
Miss
Oh, wait a
Winnie?
minute. Yes, Miss.
Sorry about that. Yes, finally, he was able to do it. I didn't want to not interrupt the in and out. So my alarm system, security, everything is good now.
Okay, so one word.
Which is?
How was the session? I mean, yeah, no, it's very.
Oh, no, it's fine. I wrote notes as far as very good as far as what I want to do for the holiday season, like a winter
Okay.
holiday discount for
What-
HVAC customers.
Okay, one word of, that's where everybody's one word of what the session was to them. They all were giving one word.
Oh, excellent.
Okay, very good.
See, I was taking the notes. Don't worry, I was taking all my the notes as far as what I'm gonna do.
Okay,
And you
all
know,
right.
starting on like my winter holiday discount.
Okay. We're at the one word session right now. One word, because we gotta close. So you get excellent, very good. Sonia?
Refreshingly clarifying.
Refreshing, clarifying. Okay, guys. So what I'm expecting now is that I'm expecting you to make a one-on-one appointment with me to go over your OGSM. All right, we've got to get it finished, because what point of you having this opportunity in malls and you're not making your goals because your OGSM is not done? So we are holding your foot to the fire. Okay.
Now, would this Zoom this recording be sent to us?
I'm sending you all this. Yes, I'm sending.
Okay.
It's finished.
And I sent you my statement, my
All right,
foundation,
so
I let
I'm-
send that to you, so.
I'm going to look for it. Okay. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming on. I know it's not easy, but you are to work on with me so that you know that you got it down pat. All
Okay,
righty. So you will still have a copy of this. You got to get that done. Okay.
thank you.
Bye-bye. See you
Bye.
next
Good night,
Wednesday.
everyone.
Yeah, I'll see
Have a
you
good
next
evening, everyone.
Wednesday. Good night. We'll see you
All right.
next Wednesday, okay?
Yes,
For
yes.
your peer-to-peer. Okay,
All
guys,
right.
bye now.
Okay.
Bye-bye.